Well, the Washington Redskins went down to New Orleans and did not do what they needed to do. They had a chance to be divisional leaders at this time, but you weren't there to see it. So we got Donna Hopkins there, and she'll tell you what happened.
What do you mean it's not working out, Craig? I mean, I just introduced you to my parents.
Psst, Craig and Sheila broke up.
What? Really? Craig and Sheila broke up? No. Craig and Sheila broke up. Is she okay?
Never liked that guy.
Oh, that was terrible. Craig and Sheila broke up.
Craig and Sheila.
As long as office gossip travels fast, you can count on Geico saving folks money.
Craig and Sheila broke up. What?
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I don't feel like we were able to really execute our game plan. There's a lot of things that we did offensively that we just didn't execute well, and all special teams had the best performance today. Defensively we struggled a little bit with some miscommunication, but outside of that, I feel like if we were able to really get into our rhythm and get things going, it would have been a different outcome.
Hey Chris, obviously this is not the way you all wanted to come into this game and play both on defense and offense like that. Could you talk a little bit about what happened out there?
I don't know, they just out-executed us. We didn't play to the level that we know we're capable of playing, and they came out early playing harder than we did, and the results just showed.
Hey DJ, so it was more of what you all did than what they actually did?
Oh, they did some great stuff, man. They did some great stuff, but you got to look at the third downs. We shot ourselves 4 times on the first 4 third downs. We blew coverages. So, they did some good stuff, man. But when I think about it, man, we shot ourselves in the foot a lot. It was a lot on us, man. Congrats to them. They did a lot of stuff that I guess confused us or had us out of whack for some reason. But congrats to Drew Brees on being an all-time passing leader. We just got to get right and move forward and get to Carolina.
And what as in facing Carolina with Cam and what he does, what's some key factors that you all have to clean up?
We got to clean up the communication for sure. We got to clean up the communication errors, clean up the penalties. We got to be disciplined in everything we do. We just got to get back to winning, man.
As the Redskins rode into the Big Easy, the question was, how would this team respond after coming off a bye week?
Ready for the big game?
Heck yeah, I'm ready.
So what do you think about tonight's game?
I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little nervous. Saints are a good team. It's going to be a good game. I was here last season, and you know what happened last year. So I'm hoping for a win, but you know what? If we lose, at least it's not against the Cowboys, Giants, or Eagles, so I'm okay with it. Let's get this win.
So Redskins will win tonight?
You already know.
They gonna dominate.
Why she ask that question?
Just hoping that our defense performs at the ranking of the 3rd best in the league, and let's get the victory.
The Saints defense entered the game as one of the NFL's best run defending units. Through the first 4 weeks, they had only allowed just 3.2 yards per carry, best in the league. They quickly silenced the Redskins' offense and put them to bed early. Now the Redskins defense entered the game only giving up 278 yards and 15 points. Drew Brees and company had 242 yards in the first half. Brees finished the night 26 of 29 passes for 363 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the Saints walked away with a 43-19 win over the Redskins.
Donna, thank you for that interview. And I tell you, that was a game down there. But at the same time, it's time to get past that game and start looking at the game that's coming up, which will be the Carolina Panthers. This week we got a few new people on that. His name was Mike Baker, now it's Bad Pick. And then we got Gary Clark. He was cool, but he got kind of warm with these picks. But now we brought on Mr. Encyclopedia, Adam Batacci. Welcome to the show, Adam.
Thank you.
You're on anyway, but we brought you on for a wealth of information.
Thank you.
I want you to tell me some things about Carolina I don't know right now.
Well, let's start with this. Carolina, with Cam Newton as their quarterback, is 4-0 against the Redskins and has won their last 2 games at FedEx Field. So you'd better be able to contain him because he's given them fits in the past.
But he got a lot of different people now on him, Mike. Is this the same team? They got a lot of pieces. I mean, one of their big linebackers retired, and Luke is hurt again.
Yeah.
And so what do you think?
I think, you know, when you look at this team, the guy you got to watch is Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
He has almost 600 all-purpose yards already. And if he stays on this pace, he's going to have 1,800 receiving and rushing yards. So he's really the key. But when you watch the game against the Giants last weekend, you watch what Cam can do. I mean, 6'5", 250? He can run over people. He literally ran over a linebacker and a safety to get a first down, Tony. He's that big and he's that fast. So I don't even know how you defend him.
The operative word is he. We talking about team. And I know he can do that by himself, but overall, to me, G, this team looks like the Washington Redskins I'm speaking of. They're a better team than Carolina. Carolina may have the top player that people feel he's the top player, but tell me, overall, when you look at the offense, defense, and special team, I feel like the Redskins is better.
I love our team this year. I really do. I mean, they're playing hard every week, and that's the key. They're playing hard every week. When you play hard, you have a chance to win every week as well. So I like our chances. I like our quarterback. I like our quarterback even better. And I'm a Carolina quarterback fan, but I love our quarterback. I love what he brings to the team. I love his leadership. And you know what? Burgundy and gold. We're taking. This could be our year.
And I hope so. And unlike the last game, Adam, where they had a prolific passer and everything, this guy's a playmaker. He can pass, but now they say his long ball is not as good as some.
Well, it's up there anyway, and he presents a whole host of other challenges. He's 6'5", 250 pounds, and he runs the 40-yard dash in under 4.5. So he's strong, he's fast, he's big, he's powerful, and like I said before, he gives the Redskins a lot of problems historically, as well as other teams.
They were describing you. You were what, 6'3", 240, and ran a 4.3, 4.4?
4.4. Don't give me too much.
No, but I mean, you know, one of the things.
I ran a 10-200. Don't leave that out.
You know,
and I beat the Wax 60-yard dash man.
Yeah, the Western
he
Athletic
ran a 6'3",
Conference.
and I broke him down.
Did you really? I remember the Western Athletic Conference.
I promise. I look back at it.
If you look statistically, and I know statistics don't always mean anything, but they are holding opponents under 100 yards rushing a game. Average. So this is going to be a key. You got Alex Smith, obviously, who can dump the ball off and go downfield now. But, you know, is AP going to have 100 yards against this team? And if you shut AP down, it could be a challenge for the Skins.
I don't think there's no shutting AP down this week for the simple aspect. They bought him there last year, and then they would not work him into the offense. And I think he could have helped them really a lot last year. So when you look at Adrian Peterson against this team this week, he's going to dog them out. He's going to play, and when we come back, we'll talk about the defense is going to stop that big 6'5", as you said, 260 pounds. We're not scared. We'll be back in a minute. Well, welcome back. You know, I'm just admiring this rain right there, and I see what Gary got. If these guys want this, they are going to have to go out and deserve it. And I tell you what, the defense is going to be hard fought to get to breathe. But they got a guy on the other side that still, he's been playing 20 years. He may have been playing when I was playing, and he's playing well in Julius Peppers.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that, Tony, because he's going to go in the Hall of Fame.
I don't know if he's been playing that well.
Why has he had the longevity that he's had?
If you remember when he was first in Carolina, he was a bang-em-up defensive end. Then he went to Chicago. He was a defensive end, but he had a little wear and tear on him. But when he went to Green Bay, and he stayed there 3 or 4 years, they played him at a lot of linebacker. And that seemed to rejuvenate him. Maybe he wasn't taking as many of the hits, everything. Since he's come back to Carolina, he's playing just as he did when he was first there.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have 9 sacks. I mean, this team does get after it. And they got a +5 give and take. So they force turnovers, Tony.
Well, you know what? I don't really think he's going to be that big of a decision to be made if they run the ball the way they should run the ball. Now, when you look at our defense, we could use an individual like him on that edge because he's still a good edge rusher. I tell you what, G, that's one thing that worries me about this team playing against a big playmaker like the quarterback on the other team, and they don't get the pressure they need to get.
Well, I tell you, I mean, it's all about taking those playmakers out of the game. In some type of way, you have to take you have to take your other team's playmakers out of the game, get them off their rhythm. So it's going to be important that they get their quarterback off his rhythm, and all of a sudden he doesn't make the plays that he typically makes.
But does Cam have a rhythm, or is he just a player that what's needed?
Well, he's a tremendous asset to their team in many ways. He has a strong arm. He keeps their offense going, and it keeps it very efficient. But also, this is a game where Daron Payne gets to show why the Redskins picked him in the draft, as well as Jonathan Allen to come back from his injury. This is why they have them here, this Alabama defense from their days together in college. This is a game where you must stop the run. You have to show that you can stop the run this week because that will be the deciding factor for the Redskins defense.
And getting inside of Cam's head, that's his weakness.
That's it, exactly, and that's what I wanted to hear right there.
Once I start messing with
because
his mind.
he is a situational player. Whatever they need, that's what he will deliver. Correct. But if you get into his head and take away some of his swagger, then he has a problem. I think that the 2 defensive tackles, the Alabama Bucks, they are perfect for this. They may not be the best pass rushers, but those 2 guys can play.
Well, for how many years did we say they can't stop the run, and now all of a sudden they can stuff the run? But I want to ask you guys about these 2 defensive ends. Smith's in the end of his contract. Kerrigan signed a big deal 2 years ago. Why are these guys not doing more?
I don't know if it's schematically what is transpiring, but they're going upfield and look like they have made them, which last year, if you remember, they had a problem with keeping containment of the quarterbacks. It look as if this year they're telling these ends that you rush from outside no matter what. They're not really setting the player up, and I don't just see that with just them. I watch Atlanta a lot. They got a guy down there that led the league in sacks 2 years ago. This year he don't even look like he know how to line up. And they're trying to keep containment, but what you have to do to keep containment is working within your game and have some moves that look like that and work back out to the containment. They're getting pushed by a lot.
What do you guys think of Devin Funchess, this big kid, 6'5"? They got him listed as a wide receiver, but he's sort of Cam light in a way. The 2 of them in the game almost are twins. So when you throw to Funchess, it's like throwing to Cam, and then when Cam scrambles, Funchess blocks for him. Have you seen him? I mean, he looks pretty dominant to me.
Yeah,
he's
6'5", wow.
Well, they got rid of their one big receiver.
Kelvin
They sent him up to Buffalo, and they wanted a replacement for him. He was 6'5", 6'6". You always got to have a big receiver like that, to me, in some stages of the game. I think he could be dangerous, but at the same time, if you get the right amount of pressure and you put your scheme together, whereas everybody playing together, and you take away that middle zone, you can shut him down.
Well, the Skins are ranked, their defense is ranked right at the top in the NFL, and you've got Swearinger and you've got Norman. I mean, my gosh, you got 2 of the best guys in the game at safety and corner.
I'll tell you, I mean, it seems like it's our year. It's our year defensively. For me, that's the only thing that was kind of missing last year, is our defense was not solid on an ongoing basis. This year, they've been solid. And it's just a single rule. 17 points or less, we win. Just what it is.
And you know, this is a good year for us to be solid for the simple aspect that you take a look at the NFC East is open and they can win it. When we come back, we'll talk about other teams around the league that's going up and going down.
I wish you weren't so worried about moving.
I'm hoping these nature sounds will help me relax a bit.
At least we don't have to worry about homeowners insurance. Just call Geico.
Geico helps with homeowners insurance? Good to know.
Feeling better?
I love you, Pookie Bear.
I love you, Pookie Bear. I love you, Pookie Bear. I love you, Pookie Bear.
Get to know Geico and see how easy homeowners and renters insurance can be.
You know, we ended the last segment saying there's some teams that were getting better, some getting worse, and at the same time, we know the Washington Redskins have an opportunity now to be one of the better teams. But Mike, you're looking at some of the teams that for years and years, the New Englands and the Green Bays, and now you see them struggling. You see in the Browns win a game, and you see in Detroit win a game, and it's going to be some new sheriffs, I think, in town when the Super Bowl comes about.
Yeah, the NFL show that's on in early morning, I mean, they threw out a really cool concept, and that is there are certain teams in the NFL that are reshaping themselves after they had rough starts. There are other teams that may have won a game or two, now all of a sudden are losing steam. So I'm going to throw teams at you guys, and you guys can jump in. Tops on the list of teams that may be reshaping themselves may be Pittsburgh.
I don't know if I go along with reshaping. They just got a Atlanta team with 4 starters, 2 of them all pros hurt. And at that game, if you have seen that game, it was pretty close to they made a lot of mistakes, Atlanta I'm speaking of. So Pittsburgh to me is still, they're not going up yet.
And New England?
New England, come on, guys.
Reshaping themselves.
Come on, man. We want
man.
all
they're doing is like what I would do. I'll give you a head start. I'm going to run you down.
I may have to go with Gary on that for the simple reason. They got those 2 receivers. They got 2 good receivers. Now, 2 weeks ago, we talked about no receivers, and now they got 2 real good receivers in this arsenal, so they could be coming back. I had to go with G with that one.
Yeah, Edelman does help a lot. How about Minnesota? I mean, they look 1-2-1. Now they're 1-2-2. They've got 1 tie and 2-2. Are they reshaping themselves? Are they the real deal?
I don't think they're as good as they were a year ago.
Okay.
I think they have their own problems. I think, last year a lot of that had to do with the injury to Aaron Rodgers last season, so they were able to take over. But I don't think they're as good as the Bears, who forced turnovers like no other team in the league. And I think they're going to have some struggles this season.
And Green Bay, are they reshaping themselves?
Well, let's go back to Minnesota before you leave. They say some of the players are lamenting that they're not liking that they're not running the ball nearly as much as they used to. They're throwing more, so they're a little bit unhappy with that. Green Bay is Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay haven't upgraded their defense enough. Green Bay is in trouble.
Also, teams that may be losing steam. Philly. Tony said something interesting before the show about they may have figured out Carson.
Well, no one expected Philly to be in the position they are at this time in the league right now, but it's still early in the season, and we've seen 8-8 get you into the playoffs sometime, 9-7 get you in the playoffs sometime.
Just not us.
It hasn't worked for us. That's the only problem I got. For us yet. But, I don't think we'll have to worry about that problem this year. So, I mean, I never pay attention to what people write on paper at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you know what, I look at G, and I've looked at a lot of quarterbacks that's come in and look like that first year, just like a young man in Kansas City. He will not be doing this next year like he's doing. He's a great player, but that's what they pay these coordinators for, to find out where your weakness is. Wentz is hurt. If you remember, his game was mobility last year. He's not as mobile this year, so they go at him early, get in his head.
Yeah, that definitely could be too, because when you can't do what you're used to doing,
Exactly.
sometimes if you can't figure out a way to, lack of a better word, subsidize it, then you're gonna, you're not going to play the way that you typically play.
It's interesting you say that, because they were saying that last year he made an awful lot of plays rolling out of the pocket, and so they're blitzing him and throwing different packages at him. So he's uncomfortable and having to scramble with the bad leg, and he's forcing throws and not as accurate. I don't know if that's true or not. But
I know we don't have a lot of time, and we're talking about guys like Wentz and stuff, but we never said enough about Peterson to me. And we got to get out. When we come back, I want to talk about the intensity that he runs with. It's about that intensity. If I don't get more intense, I'm going to lose sponsors. we will be back in a moment. Sorry, guys.
And now, New Faces with Adam Batachi.
Welcome to New Faces. In this week's segment, we talk about Redskins starting center Tony Bergstrom. Originally from Salt Lake City, Utah, Bergstrom was drafted by the Raiders in 2012. Look for him to have a great season this year and a big game on Sunday against the Carolina Panthers.
So you just walk around telling people Geico could help them save money on car insurance?
Yeah, that and homeowners, renters, motorcycle and boat insurance.
Huh. That's nice. What happens when you catch a fish?
Oh!
Geico. More than just car insurance. See how much you could save at geico.com.
I'm okay!
Hey, sports fans, two-time Super Bowl champion Gary Clark and Pacific Dental Services have joined up to bring Redskin fans a chance to win free NFL Legend experiences. Go to www.garyclarkinc.com/fans to register for a chance to win. Good luck.
Now for the segment, what's bugging you? And I always say, what's bugging me first? These officials are turning the game into, they might as well get flags out. They don't want anybody to get hit. They paying these guys to play football. But I'll quit lamenting on what I feel. Gary, it's people around the league feel like that, but what's bugging our fan this week?
The funny thing about it, I think our fan of the week, Morgan Spencer out of McLean, Virginia, she feels exactly the same way you do. So we're going to find out what's bugging you, Morgan.
Hi, my name is Morgan Spencer, and I'm a real estate agent with RE/MAX Progressive. And what's bugging me this season is that the NFL has gone soft. Those boys know what they signed up for, so go hard or go home. And that's what's bugging me.
We have Kansas City traveling to New England. And if anybody watches this show, you know I never bet against Brady. But Kansas City is off to a great start. They're 5-0. They are dominating teams. They're not just beating teams, they're dominating them. But I just can't bet against Brady. Take New England to win at home, because when you got Brady, you got to win.
When we play ball, they say you go on the road and you handle your business. Well, Pittsburgh is going on the road to Cincinnati. They may handle their business, but I don't know if they got a lot of business there. Cincinnati's playing pretty well this year. I don't look at Pittsburgh as being a domineering team as they've been in the past. So if you got any kind of sense, take Cincinnati.
Tony didn't like my pick, so he has sent me down here in Miami, where Chicago Bears will be coming into town. Now, I'll tell you, Ryan Tannehill has severely disappointed me this year. In fact, he's one of the lowest rated quarterbacks in the NFL right now. But Mitchell Trubisky, I mean, he's the real deal. And Khalil Mack, did you know the Bears have been favored in their last 4 games, and they're favored by 3 in this one? Take the Bears.
Welcome to the Sports Bar Challenge. This week's game, we have the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to New England to play the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. Crystal City Restaurant likes the Chiefs. Crystal City Sports Pub likes the Patriots. Greavy's likes the Patriots. Hard Times Cafe of Fairfax likes the Patriots. Harry's Ale House in Fredericksburg likes the Patriots. And Nando's Peri Peri Chicken likes the Chiefs. Look for this to be a high-scoring game between two very potent offenses, but I like the Chiefs on the road. Pick Kansas City.
You know, one of the great things about being involved in the show over the years is that once in a while when I go somewhere, people will shout at me on the street and they'll go, Tony McGee, Gary Clark. They don't know who the heck I am. But I had an opportunity to meet two of their biggest fans here on the show, Junior and Rob up in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. And now we have a signal. Every time I come home, I live in Shepherdstown, I honk as I go by their house if the Redskins win. So Junior and Rob, I'm sitting with two of the greatest of all time. So they're our fans of the week. And in the picks this week...
And now everybody know your name.
No, they don't know my name. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Everybody is picking Cincinnati except me. I am picking Pittsburgh. Chicago at Miami. Everybody's picking Chicago except Gary. What the heck? He played for Miami. Indy at New York Jets. Everybody is picking the Jets except me. I am in real trouble this week, aren't I? KC at New England. Everybody is picking New England except Donna. She's picking Kansas City. She knows something I don't know. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Wow, this is a mixed bag. Tony's picking Atlanta, Donna's picking Tampa Bay, Gary's picking Tampa Bay, and I'm picking Atlanta. I can't believe they're going to drop 3 in a row. And Tony, what do you got, buddy?
Well, I tell you, you look at it and we look around the league, but I'm not concerned with them. I'm looking at the Washington Redskins and what their future is looking like, but you have to take each game at a time. This Carolina, which they start off a little slow, but they've come on pretty good. They've been in trouble in games. I think it's ripe for them to beat this team at the time. I don't care about the other teams. They can go up and down and everything. We can pick them. But one team that I see that I can definitely say I see improvement is the Washington Redskins. And I think they brought in Alex Smith and they brought in Peterson. They got the 2 big Alabama boys playing. This is a good team, guys.
I agree.
Yeah. Can I ask you a couple questions about the other teams in town real quickly? Of course, everybody is talking about the Nationals right now, and do you bring back Bryce Harper? You've got a good outfield with 2 good young outfielders and Adam Eaton with them. Do you bring back Bryce Harper? Do you sign the check that brings him back?
Well, you know, I look at Bryce Harper was kind of rebelling. They got rid of a very good manager here in Dusty Baker, and maybe because he's a better player than what he did this year. But he did get a lot of home runs.
Dusty got more out of him.
But do you sign him?
Well, I think you do because he brings in fans to the seats. You have to for that reason. So I think for those reasons you have no choice.
Yeah. Now you guys, of course.
Would you sign him, G?
I'm not much of a baseball guy, so I would be.
But when they brought you
ask.
down to Miami, it was the same thing. They didn't know if they wanted to give you $10 million for one game, or either
You're right, or $20 for the next game.
How about Tom Wilson? Of course, the Caps won the Stanley Cup. Real quickly, Tom Wilson got a 20-game suspension. Is that too much, Tony?
Well, they're doing now, and all the teams are trying to send a message, and that's what
Right.
they're sending right now. So they have to be consistent.
And Dwight Howard, we finally have a center in the Wizards. This team's going to go deep in the playoffs, I think.
Well, you know, I'm going to close the show with that. I was going to ask you guys how you win, but Dwight Howard, he said we still got a center. Well, Washington haven't beat Carolina yet, so we're not concerned with Howard. This is his 8th team in a month. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a win. We'll see you next week.
Hi, everybody. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and women across the United States and abroad have heard those unwanted words, "you have breast cancer." On October the 13th, I'll have my annual Pink Ribbon Throwdown, Throwing Down for a Cause, in conjunction with CrossFit of Laurel. So come on out. It's free to the public. Come and join us as we throw down for a cause, making a difference in the cancer community.
Tony, good news. The Redskin Magazine Inc. Minority Scholarship Contest is back again this year, and we're encouraging all seniors to submit essays on the subject. Do you think the Voting Rights Act of 1965 impacts your rights today? Why or why not? And you can submit your essays to redmagplus.com. Once on the website, you go to Youth Sideline. That gives you all the instructions on the essay, how to submit it, and all we can say is they're great prizes, so best of luck to all the writers out there.